We were getting a number of acts offered to us on Sundays, and at that time, no one was doing day parties on Sundays here. It wasn't really a thing, day parties here. And I'd seen them overseas at some places, and we were getting offered acts on Sundays a lot, just sure to, acts would do Melbourne and Sydney, Friday, Saturday. That was traditionally the way it was always done. So we were getting offered a lot of acts on Sundays because we couldn't get them other dates. The bigger acts anyway, and they were cheaper. They were cheaper at that time. So
they're coming through Perth to then
on the way
go
home
up to Europe.
Yeah. So there was a time when we got offered. I think the first garden party was James Abilia, Alex Nigerman, and George Fitzgerald, who were three of my. James Abilia, I love. We're good friends, and I love the guy.
He came New Year's Day.
And to have the other three, as a group, I was like, really want. It was more out of a personal thing that I really wanted to make the show happen, and I was like, I knew I couldn't get anybody out on a Sunday night to see them, so we decided to do a show at the Court during the day, and that was more out of me wanting to do it more than whether the market would work.
So big risk.
Bit of risk, but we got the acts relatively cheap, and I looked at the number and I was like, do this cheap. We'll see what happens. If I can break even on it.
Court's capacity
I got to see my favourite.
Point? That was before the big Reno.
600 in that
so
room. Yeah, and I was like, look, if I can break even, I get to see my favourite acts. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So,
how'd it go?
And then I kind of spent a few months trying to figure a way to package it up to make it work for me. So, I kind of came up with the Habitat Garden Party brand because I was trying to figure out how to make it work. And I kind of come up with, the Court was kind of nice with a few plants, but I was like, I really liked the idea of creating a kind of garden scene. After seeing the site, that's what I thought I'd create. So at the time, I think I bought a lot of plants, a lot of fake ivy, all sorts of stuff to decorate the place.
Yeah.
Just to theme it. It was just me having a bit of fun with it, trying to make it, because it was just an empty marquee at the time. So it was just trying to create a nice space, basically. So that's kind of how the garden party theme came about. And the first one sold 580 tickets, nearly sold out, and sold out on the day. So, which, we were doing shows of 200 a geisha. So that blew my mind at the time. I think Warwick and I were jumping for joy at that gig, and so were all my DJs, and everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe that was the biggest event anyone was doing with house music at that time. So that kind of put stars in my eyes. And it was just a good day for us. Like, we really enjoyed the day.
Everyone enjoyed it.
Everyone enjoyed the day. They liked the afternoon. That was in the sun. It was nice. And at the end of the day, I was like, this is real. I liked this. I enjoyed that almost more than I did being in the club at that time. And our market's probably a little bit older, so they all enjoyed it. The girls had cocktails in hand and nice shoes. And it was a nice day, basically. So that was the start of it. And then from there, I was like, this might work.
We're doing this again.
We started doing them more regularly. They were a bit hit and miss for a while. They were at the Court, I think, for the first 2 years. They were a little bit hit and miss, but I just stuck with it. And I think it was me just trying to find my feet as a brand and what we wanted to do. They were more just about the artist to start with. It's like, here's some acts, come see. And then I started to develop more about the theme and the whole concept and cocktails. Became more about that.
Itself,
but the day itself as much.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's developed more out of my maturity getting older about what I want at an event. And after going to a lot of events, you're like, I've seen this, I've done that, and that was me wanting to do something that I wanted to go to, that I was excited about, and then hoping others would follow suit. So. And it's kind of grown from there. And I think moving from the Court to other venues has just come from me going to the Court enough times going, there's only so many things I can do with this site.
To keep
Let's move somewhere else to try something.
Having the variety.
And I never like to do the same thing over and over. You know what I mean? So I like to create a different space or different artwork.
For the
or
same fans that have gone to those events before, then they get to check out
something
new.
And that part of the excitement, I think, for the garden parties, for me and for everybody, is it's always a little bit different.